So this was as we we were just getting ready for our trip to Muranga. No, not Muranga. It's Meru. I keep on confusing the two. So yeah, the bike was ready. This morning I actually managed to do a slight modification. That is a phone holder because I wanted to document the trip. And of course, I still don't have the GoPro camera. Rather, there's that camera that is used to, while riding, the 360 and the GoPro camera. So yeah, that is it. And then a few minutes later, I was there on the road. So you see those two dudes, they were they were checking, they saw the phone and now they were like, looking at it and laughing at it. So yeah, that was it. So that was Ruiru. I started the trip from Ruiru Ndani, Ruiru Ndani. So yeah, so first of all, I was to fuel. So yep, from there, I headed straight to Shell petrol station. So yeah, at this point, of course, there are two major things to put in consideration. Number one, we need to check how many hours I'll be taking to Meru. And then number two, of course, I'll be fueling V-Power as usual. And people have been saying that V-Power is much better. Okay, Shell has been saying V-Power is a much better fuel than any other. So yeah, we're just right here to prove if the consumption, if it gives more mileage than the normal fuel, or maybe there's anything else to worry about. But as of now, let's try it. So yeah, that was me fueling a full tank at Ruiru Shell petrol station, Ruiru branch. Yeah, and I did fuel 1,600, and then before long I embarked on the trip. So yeah, I did document the entire trip. That is from Nairobi to Meru. So yeah, if you need to know how I ride on road, then please watch this to the end. So yeah, of course, this was the very first stretch. That is from Ruiru to Kennel town. Yeah. So this ride was a good one. This one I really must commend it. It was really a good one. The traffic was flowing. And yeah, everything else was just good. So yeah, as you're watching this, I think there's something I really wanted to talk about because I think we're having an upwards of about 30 minutes, just watching how the ride is taking place. And now I thought it was wise to myself to talk about a very simple thing, and that is savings. I know each one of us here, if you're watching this, you must be saving some amount, whether you're saving it for rent, whether you're saving it to buy a car, to buy a bike, to pay school fees or anything, you must be saving. All right. And well, as we are all doing the saving, we all know if I ask anyone here, if I ask you today that when do you save, you'll always tell me you do make a saving anytime you receive money. So your salary comes on board, you'll be like, I'm going to be saving 15% of my salary. Someone else, maybe you're in business and be like, I'm going to be saving 15% of my profits. Or, anytime, anything, maybe you gave someone a loan and now they're paying you back. You're like, I'm going to be saving 10% of the cash I receive from my debtors. So we do save each and every single day. The only difference is always the motive, the reason why you save. But any normal human being must save for something. So the question is, when do you actually save? I mean, do you save when the money comes in or when the money goes out? And that now narrows down into two major saving models. The first saving model is what we call the save as you earn saving model. All right? This is where you save when money comes in. All right? Well, you save when the clients pay you, when the salary trickles down into your account, when the money is disbursed into your account. That's when you save. And the save as you earn saving model is one single model that the society has made us believe that is the only way you actually need to save money. And that's where the problem is, all right? The problem is not on the amount of money that we earn as a salary, because listen, if the problem was the amount of money we earn as a salary, or rather the amount of money that gets into our account, that maybe, the economy is not doing well, or maybe the salary is not just enough, then I think the people who earn more could have been saving more. But how comes that the more you earn, the more you spend? The more you earn, the less you save. I mean, we've all been in this scenario. There's that particular moment in life where, you didn't have money, you were not, earning much, And remember, you still manage to pay your rent, you still manage to pay your kids' school fees, you still manage to support your siblings and your parents and just everybody around you, right? But as your salary grows, as you earn more, as your business expands and now your expenditure, your income goes up, ironically, you still don't manage to save more. Because ideally, if we are supposed to be saving based on our income, then the people who earn more are actually supposed to be saving more. But ironically, that doesn't happen. In fact, I'm very certain that the people who earn less actually save more of their percentage compared to the people who earn more. And that is because we are all stuck in the old saving model, which is the save as you earn saving model. That somehow someone just sat down and managed to convince the entire society that you always need to save 10%, 15%, 20%, 30% of the total amount that you actually earn, which is not right. All right, of course, it's right. It has been right. But as time goes by, things change. There is this one single quote that I always say, that urgency, importance, and significance varies over time. So if saving as you earn was important 30 years ago, it doesn't mean it's still important today. Well, I'm going to get back to that story. So right now we're in Kenol. We've done a few kilometers from Ruiru. Right now we're in Kenol. If you know Kenol, this is it. If you don't know Kenol, this is how it looks. Of course, I didn't go to Kenol town. This is just along the highway. Yeah, so of course I had to slow it down over here so that at least you know the town. And of course, you'll always one day find yourself within the town, or maybe within the town, Kenol town, and maybe you'll need something. So that is it. Back to the story. As I was saying, most of us somehow we are all stuck in the save as you earn saving model, and it has been affecting us, and that is the reason why we actually don't manage to hit our goals, our saving goals, and our targets as far as saving is concerned. So listen, the more you earn, the more responsibilities grow. Your responsibilities grow. All right, the more you get more money, the more you have many more things to take care of. All right, so there is no science, there is no secret behind earning more, that now if you earn more you're going to save more. All right, so if you're actually trying to bank your savings on the amount of money that you are going to earn, then I think you're getting it wrong. All right, and I'm saying this because I'm going to introduce you to another saving model that for me, I've seen it working for me. It has really served me big time, and I feel it's something you should also consider trying it out. So listen, things are getting expensive every single day, right? Every single day you wake up, there are new tax measures that are coming on board that you're being slapped with the government, and you really need to take care of. All right. And so every single day, regardless of the amount of money you're earning, the economy keeps getting worse every single day. So how exactly are you going to distinguish yourself from every other person out here? How are you going to make your life different? How are you going to achieve your life goals as far as your savings are concerned? Because listen, we all need goal. You all need savings to take care of your goals. All right. Every single goal out here. If you've ever thought of traveling abroad, if you've ever thought of starting that business, if you've ever thought of, maybe anything, even getting married or getting children or taking your kids to school or doing anything, you literally need money. And that money trickles down to what we call saving. You must have the discipline to save. You must understand the matrix, the science behind saving before you can even think of any goal in life. Because you've seen these people who have dozens of goals, dozens of ambitions. They're so ambitious. They have dozens of ideas out here than anybody else, but they never achieve it. Right? Even the Bible says faith without action is as good as death. Right? If you don't understand how you're going to make your goals happen, then you are as good as not having that goal in the first place. And that starts with what we call saving. So regardless of whatever it is you want to do, regardless of what you've ever thought about as a human being that you need to achieve, that you just need to do it to satisfy your soul, it all begins from saving. All right? So listen, I've given this whole background so that you can understand the magnitude of what I'm just about to talk about, so that you understand, the importance of what I'm just trying to talk about. So before I even proceed, let me give you another example. Listen, have you ever had these people who maybe you've ever had a friend or a relative or a neighbor or just anyone that you know that has a loan facility? Maybe, okay, it could be a car loan, it could be a business loan, any loan facility that is actually giving them pressure to service. Well, in real sense, that particular person earns a lot of money. I mean, I've seen someone who earns over $1 million a month, of course in business, but in real sense, they are really struggling to pay a 10,000 or a 20,000 loan or a 30,000 loan. And it's not that they have other responsibilities. It's not that they are investing elsewhere or there's something that is taking their money. It's just because it's their nature. You know why? Because we always take this loan. Of course, we know we have this 40,000, 30,000, 20,000 loan to pay at the end of the month. And what rings in our mind is that we are in business. And now when end month comes, we are going to think of how to pay the loan when the right time comes. We forget that, it's the loan. You should be paying the loan all the way throughout the month. It doesn't matter the date. And paying the loan, is not about sending the money to your lender's account. Paying the loan starts from one single most important thing that I just mentioned, and that is saving. You get the point? You must save for the loan because you need to accumulate this amount of money you are supposed to be paying as your installments, the monthly installments in a specific account, so that at the end of the month, you just withdraw it and push it to your lender's account. So everything, I said, every single goal you might have thought about out here, it could be a goal of clearing a loan. It could be a goal of, starting a business or anything. It all narrows down to one single thing: saving. You must have the discipline of saving. You must understand the principle and the science behind saving. And that can never be possible if you're still stuck, if your mind is still stuck to the old saving model, the save as you earn saving model. So the reason why some of these people earn a lot of money but they still struggle to service the 30 or the 40,000 monthly loan is because they are stuck. They are focused. They're still stuck in the old days saving model. They save as you earn. That someone is like, well, I know I'm supposed to be paying this loan in the next 2 weeks, but let me wait for a specific client to pay me that amount, the invoice. Let the client pay the invoice I sent them, and then from there I'm going to service the loan from that specific invoice. Whereas this specific person is eating every single day, is doing shopping every single day, is fueling their car every single day, is running errands, buying materials every single day, is paying wages every single day, but they cannot use this money that they are using to pay their employees and buy materials and buy food and everything to service the loan. Reason being, they are waiting for that lump sum to come in. They are waiting for that client to come in. So what if that client doesn't pay? What if you get a complication and the invoice is not paid? That means you won't service the loan. And that's exactly the problem with save as you earn saving model. Because what if you don't earn? What if whatever you earn is not just enough to take care of your needs? What if whatever it is you earn is not enough to handle all your needs as far as your lifestyle and your savings and everything you just are taking care of is concerned? There will be a problem. That means you won't save. And saving, I'm not just talking about a lifetime saving. I'm talking about saving for literally everything. That is from rent to the loan you're servicing, to your school fees, to everything, literally for that vacation, saving for literally everything. All right? So listen, there's a second saving model that I believe has worked out for me, right? This is something I'm not sure if somebody else have talked about it or I've heard about it, but this is something that I've been using myself. And I've seen it very effective as far as my saving is concerned. And that is the save as you spend saving model. Listen, I've had a good friend of mine, and I'm sure he's going to watch this, and he knows I'm talking about him. He runs a company out here. This guy, he had a loan with a microfinance bank, which he actually defaulted in paying. And so the bank needed, I think he had defaulted on how much? It was around 250,000. So one time this guy comes on board, he comes to my office and he's like, Shamma, I need your help. I have a loan that I've defaulted on around 250,000 and the bank is just about to auction my car. And I was like, when did you take this loan? And he's like, I have had this loan for the past 12 months. And I was like, for the past 12 months, what was the loan amount? The loan amount was apparently 300,000. So out of the 300,000, he had actually paid, I think, he had defaulted on 250,000. So he had only managed to pay 50,000. So out of the 250,000, there were another penalty of 220,000. The total was coming to around 470,000. The reason why the amount was coming to 470 is because he had defaulted on the principal amount, and then the interest and the penalties had accrued to double the amount. And you know how the microfinance bank works. You can never get away with it. You have to pay the amount regardless of what you do or where you run to. You'll still have to pay that amount. So he comes to me, and immediately he came to my office. I asked him a very simple question: how much do you spend in a day? And he's like, on fuel, I spend around 3,000 because I have to go to work. Back at home, I give my wife around 1,000 every single day. And of course, there are other expenditures that, of course, he wouldn't mention the figures. There are petty expenditures like lunch. And, these friends that just call you and be like, hey, I need, 2,000 bob urgently, which are actually there. And then you've got employees that he pays every single day, the daily wages. One employee was being paid at 1,500 and he works with a minimum of 3 employees every single day. So that's around 4,500. And, these tiny stuff. And the whole amount was actually totaling to the total, his daily expenditure was actually totaling to around 25,000 on average. And of course, don't take him wrong. These were business expenditures. These are expenditures that are mandatory. He must spend them because, it's business. So I was like, listen, in a single day, you spend an upwards of 25,000. The bank on the other side needs around 400,000. Okay, leave alone the penalties. Let's go back to the interest amount. The bank on the other side needs 250,000 from you. The reason why you are not able to service that amount of money, according to him, was that he's waiting for a deal. There are some 2 projects he was waiting for, and he was like, well, immediately those 2 projects are confirmed, he's going to take, a chunk of money, like say 100,000 and another 100,000, and just clears the balance. And I asked him a question. Hey, listen, you've had this loan for the past 12 months, right? That means for the past 12 months, you've been waiting for that big project to come so that you take a chunk of money from that project and just take care of the loan, right? So he was like, yeah, of course, you're right. So I was like, what makes you think that this time round, the next big project that's going to come on board will actually take care of the loan? And of course, the answer was obvious. He told me it's because the bank is here to auction the car and he can't let the car go. So, he was actually willing to do that and blah, 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 all the stories he gave. And I was like, listen, that is not going to happen because you've tried that for the past 12 months and it has not worked for you. So there's no magic behind whatever it is you're trying to tell me. In short, you won't be able to pay the loan and the car will actually be auctioned. So he was like, well, let me think about it and then I'll just get away. And I told him, listen, there's only one way out of this. And that one way out of this is make a commitment that in every single transaction that you make, because listen, don't tell me this money is a business money, so there's no way you can tamper with it. If you're spending 25,000 every single day, it's business and it's business. We can always bargain, right? How many times have you met your laborers, these casual laborers that, just random casual laborers that tells you they need a payment of 1,500 a day, and you're like, no, I can afford 500, and they'll actually give in and still do the work. All right. So why can't you just make a commitment that every single day out of the 25,000 that you're spending, I do understand that the expenditure is business expenditure, but why can't you just make a commitment that in every single transaction that you make, as far as the daily transactions you make is concerned, the daily transactions you make are concerned, you're going to save a specific amount of money, and that out of the 25,000 a day, you're going to save only 2,000 bob towards servicing the loan. What if you just make a commitment? And this is not something that you need to wake up every single morning and save 2,000. It's going to weigh you down. You're going to feel like you're betraying your business. You're going to feel like things are going to be will stop. So what you need to do, just make it per transaction. That anytime you send someone 1,000 bob, send 100 bob to a designated bank account. Anytime you send someone 200 bob, send 100 bob or 200 to a designated bank account. Don't send it to the loan account. Do not send it to your lender's account. Just send it to a specific account. If you're watching this from Kenya, we have the courier service, the communication companies, the Safaricom and the Airtel. In Safaricom, we do have M-Shwari, we have KCB M-Pesa and all other financial services. What if you just make it you have that discipline that every transaction you execute, every transaction you make, you're going to save 100 bob or 200 shillings. That is Kenyan shillings. All right. If you're spending 1,000 shillings, just save 100 shillings. If you're spending 10,000 shillings, just save like 500 shillings per every transaction that you make in a day. That will narrow down to, that will give you a total amount of say 1,000 bob or maybe 2,000 bob a day. And 2,000 bob a day will total to 60,000 a month. I know 60,000 sounds as a big amount, but it just depends with the amount of money you're making and the loan amount. Because if your loan limit was as high as 250 or rather 300,000 from a bank, then it meant that your statement actually convinced them that you can actually service that loan. Right? So it means your income also resonates or rather balances or rather your income reflects 60,000 a month, or your income also reflects the 25,000 that you're actually spending on business every single day. And what I'm just trying to talk about here is what we call the save as you spend saving model. So the whole story I've given you about the loan is just an example. I really don't need to go into details of whether he did it or didn't do it. That's a story for another day. What I'm just trying to tell you is simple. There is a saving model that we call the save as you spend saving model. We do spend a lot of money and spend it, in fact, on wrong things. I mean, how many times have you just bought beer out there, got drunk, and then the next morning you don't have the beer, you don't have the money, and you're not even drunk in the first place? How many times have you spent money on that heavy lunch somewhere worth 3,000 bob or 5,000 or whatever amount it was, and then the next day you are still hungry, you didn't have the money? I'm not saying you shouldn't spend on all these fancy things. I'm not saying you shouldn't spend in alcohol. I mean, everybody, you do have your priorities, which I really don't need to get into. All I'm just trying to say is, in every single expenditure you make, every single transaction you make, regardless of what you're spending on, just make sure you save a specific percentage. Just make sure you send a specific percentage towards a specific thing, which is your saving kitty. With that, you won't limit the amount of money that you're actually saving. Because listen, if you say you're going to save 10% of your income, 10% of your profit, 10% of your salary, that means you can easily predict the amount of money you're going to save at the end of the year. Your annual saving, you can easily predict, because if you do earn 15,000 a month, or you do earn 100,000 a month, just take 10% of 100,000, multiply it by 12 months, you can easily predict the amount of money you're going to save. But what if you say that you're going to save as you spend? What if you say that you're going to save based on each and every transaction you make as far as your spendings are concerned? You spend a lot of money, but some of the expenditure are intentional, some are not intentional. Before we proceed, this is Chuka. Yeah, this is Chuka town. So I think from here, my phone stopped recording from here. I think I ran out of charge. So from here, the next recording will be, I think, in Meru. And then from there, I did record from Meru coming back all the way to Chuka. So yeah, this is it. As I said, this is Chuka town. And of course, these are a bit of a big town that I had to stop and then just make sure that I show you, I show you the whole sceneries and the major towns that I actually passed. So yeah, back to the story. I was telling you that you can easily predict the amount of money that you're going to save at the end of a year, because you just do a simple math, a simple calculation of how much you're earning, and then 10% or 15% of it. All right. And in business, what if the money doesn't come? Yeah, so ideally my phone went off somewhere in Chuka, but yeah, we are already in Meru. And the bike is doing real well. The engine I've checked, it's not as heated as anyone would ever imagine. And yeah, I'm right here in Meru. If you know the KPCU, the new Kenya Planters Cooperative Union, where it's a coffee mill actually. So if you're from Meru, I think this is a bit familiar to you. Yeah, this is exactly where I am. I was coming for a meeting. So yeah, I used a record 30 minutes. Yeah, a record, I used a record, not 30 minutes, 3 hours from Nairobi. I left Nairobi at exactly 9 a.m. in the morning, and then I got here by noon. Yeah, it was 11:55 thereabout. I was already here. So yeah, that's exactly 3 hours, and it's been a good ride. I loved the views. I mean, I think Tharaka Nithi and Meru County are the most beautiful counties in the country so far. The counties I've visited myself, the escarpments, the hills, the views. You know, I went to Nithi Bridge, and the view was just giving. I loved it. That one I must confirm. So yeah, I enjoyed the ride. The ride might be tiresome, it might be scary, but the views are worth it. That's something I can confirm to you. The views are worth it. So yeah, this is it. I think so far so good. I'm just about to leave for Nairobi again. I think I'm going to record the other bits of the trip that I didn't manage to record when I'm coming. I'll record when going back. Yeah, so maybe I'll just compile them and then do the video on YouTube. So yeah, so far so good. This is really perfect. Another county. I think I've traveled how many counties? From Nairobi to Kiambu to Kirinyaga to Tharaka Nithi to Meru, and then there's another county in between that I think I'm forgetting. But so far, this is nice. So yeah, thank you for watching, for following. Make sure you like, subscribe, and you can share this video to many other people as we explore the world together. Wait for the next trip. Bye. So this was me doing my lunch, the rice and beef and one chapati. Yep. And yeah, this one, it costed me around 400 bob. So if you're looking forward to do a trip in Meru, food is not that very expensive. Yeah, so yeah, of course I had done my meetings and I was just about to leave. So yeah, this was me leaving the restaurant, the hotel where I ate. And then of course, yeah, this was Meru town. Yeah, this was Meru town. So of course from the hotel I was headed to Shell petrol station to fill up my tank. I needed to see how much I actually used on fuel from Nairobi to Meru, and then of course doing the few trips in Meru town. Yeah, personally I've been using Shell, the V-Power all along. And honestly speaking, the consumption is good. So let's see how much we spent on V-Power from Nairobi to Muranga, and of course including the tiny trips that we made in Muranga town. So yeah, that was me. Oh, of course, not Muranga. It's Meru. I keep confusing the two. This was me. I did a full tank, and it actually costed me 1,400. So it meant I used 1,400 from Nairobi to Meru. And of course, I made the few trips. So maybe I spent around, maybe we say 1,000, maybe 1,100 or maybe 1,200, because I had a few trips in within Meru town. So yeah, this was me getting back. On my way back, of course, I didn't manage to record this section of the road when coming, because my phone went off in Chuka. So yeah, back to our story. I'm just winding up on the story. As I said, the save as you earn saving model is no longer effective. If you're looking forward to save for that goal that you've always been thinking about, that one big saving that you've been working on, please consider doing what you call a save as you spend saving model. Of course, you can always save a specific percentage as you earn, right? But always make sure that each and every expenditure, each and every transaction you make, as long as money is leaving your account, just make sure you save. And let me give you a hack to it. Assuming today your bank just tells you that the transaction cost of moving money from your bank account to maybe transferring money or making any payment has doubled, will you not transact? You definitely will. Just assuming in Kenya, for instance, Safaricom decides that the transaction cost for every coin is doubling. Today, people spend a minimum of around 30 Kenyan shillings, 30 shillings in Kenyan shillings, that is in Kenyan currency, when maybe sending money to somebody else. What if you wake up tomorrow and the Safaricom as a company just decides to double the amount? You'll definitely still, send the money. You'll still do the transactions, right? Good. So why can't you just have it in mind that the transaction cost has doubled, and now anytime you send a specific amount of money, or maybe just say the transaction has tripled. So if you send a specific amount of money, say maybe you send amount and then the transaction cost comes to around 100 bob. Just say the transaction cost has doubled to 200 or tripled to 300. So anytime you send the amount, you're going to save the 100 bob to a separate account. If you do like 10 transactions in a day, you're going to have a whooping 1,000 bob in your account. It needs discipline. Of course, it doesn't come automatically. It needs discipline. And if you give yourself that discipline, imagine you're going to have a lot of money saved in your account without you knowing. And that's what I call save as you spend saving model. Well, I may not have explained it well. I may not have given you the exact story that resonates with you, or maybe that trickles down to your current situation. But try researching on save as you spend a saving model. Of course, you won't find much information because no one is taking it seriously out there. But honestly speaking, it has worked for me, and I believe it can always work out for you, because personally, I've tried it and it has worked. All right. I think we can get another forum of just talking about it. But right now, I think that is the end of my story. The take-home point is save as you spend, or rather save as you earn, no longer works. All right. And if it works, it will leave you with a lot of guilt, because your kid won't be sent out of school because of school fees just because you need to save 10% of your salary. It will never work. You'll always pay that school fees first, and that means you will never save. Am I making sense? Saving as you spend, saving model is the way to go. And take it to the bank. It's going to save you a lot. Well, thank you for watching this. We are just about to wind up the video. And yeah, thank you for sticking around for that long. Thank you. Make sure you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you like and share so that as many other people can watch this and just learn from what we've just talked about. All right. You can as well follow me to my other social media handles on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. The name is the same, Shamma Jr., CEO on Wheels. All right. So see you on my next trip. We said we are going to tour the entire country. All right. And most probably dozens of other countries throughout Africa. Remember, this is Tekken 200, the bike that has most people think is not a performer. And I just need to show you that this bike can actually do wonders if you maintain it right and if you use it right. And most importantly, if you use the right fuel, that is V-Power.